Hey everybody, it's Caleb here, 6th of August 2017. Just really quick, I came across this video on a Facebook page for the Blue Lives Matter movement, and it was showing here on the 6th, it's a Sunday, in Portland, Oregon, there was a clash, if you will, between what looked like some peaceful people who had, assembled, doing a prayer vigil or something, and some of these Antifa, quote unquote, anti-fascist fascists, and it kind of struck a nerve with me. The first image, the first video is of this group, these fascists. They're charging across an open field. And if you've seen, a lot of Civil War movies or other just war movies where one group is running across a field to assault a fixed position, that's kind of what it reminds you of, something like a picket charge from Gettysburg. And actually, you can barely see it, but the first contact looks like one of these fascists jumps up and kicks this other guy who's just standing there in the chest, and then some fisticuffs start flying, and then there's some other videos where there's like 4 videos in total, but they're using skateboards to hit people and so on and so forth, and it's really sad, to be completely honest with you, because these young people all over the country, and I think a lot of it is centered in the Great Northwest. But these young people, they really and truthfully don't have a clue what they're supporting and what they actually think they believe. The tactics that they're using are straight out of the fascist playbook. Mussolini and Hitler would be applauding these people, and yet they're quote unquote fighting fascism. It's a very, very unique dichotomy in looking at how young people, sub-segments of young people in America today, how they view their activism. Now, I'm not here to try to, demean or justify or anything of the nature, but if they truly believe what they believe, then fine. They can definitely believe how they believe and think how they think. But what I would do is I would challenge them to really explore the legitimacy of their grievances, and what would be the best possible way to overcome those grievances. And what they would find, if they would be open to it, is the framers and the founders of the republic, they definitely put forth a very, very good plan when followed, and that's one of the main things, is whenever it's followed, it's really a fail-safe, operation in how to make change effectively, and part of that is not only the opportunity to peacefully assemble and voice whatever grievance. If this group and other Antifa groups wanted to have a legitimate, sit-down conversation with people who would ideologically oppose them, then you might be able to find a little bit of common ground. So that's one way you can effectively, start to kind of change things. The second thing is learn how to assimilate and assemble within the structure that you have, and then you can possibly, get some more of your articulate members, elected to certain positions. Likewise, the 44th president of the United States, Barack Obama, kind of would fit that mold. He was a very radical person in the 60s and 70s, lined himself up with some very hardcore radical people, but what those individual people understood was trying to, create chaos and havoc was not going to be the best way forward in getting their point across. So what they do is they got into government. And it's up to the vigilance of the American people to research and seek out the best possible people for elected officials. But that would be the best possible thing for these fascists to do. Challenge the system, but a legitimate way. The framers put forth the apparatuses within the Constitution, within the government, to do that. It's a slow process. Sometimes you get, kind of what you want. Sometimes you don't get anything from what you want. But you are playing a part in, the future of the Republic. But right now, these, it's sad. I mean, I could call them every name in the book, and I could rant and rave and raise hell, but what good is that going to do? Number one, they're not going to, that's what they want. They want you to raise hell with them. And it's pointless. I mean, I've gotten to a point in my life now where it's if you want to act like a fool and a buffoon and everything, then just go right on ahead. I'm not going to sit there and entertain it. If you want to come to the table with some legitimate, viable options and ideas, and I'm all for it. We don't have to agree. We don't have to be ugly or be friends. But as long as you respect my position, I respect your position, then we can move the ball forward to some degree, if not a great degree. But for anyone who's not for this kind of behavior, no matter who you are, no matter what group it is, don't. And it's something I do have to kind of remind myself, even though I've come to the point where I've kind of gotten past the knee-jerk reactions, but don't entertain it. Don't get in there and try to convince them of their folly and so on and so forth. Just let them be ignorant. Literally, just let them be ignorant. You're going about your business. They're going about their business, hopefully. Now, if they do attack and they do, try to, create bodily harm, then defend yourself. And if you feel like defending yourself means you put them in the hospital, well, put them in the hospital. They'll learn. And don't be scared. Just knock the crap out of them. But that's only if you're attacked and there's no other possible way to reconcile the situation. But anyway, I thought I'd get off my chest and everything. It's sad. More than anything else, it is sad. We got a whole generation of young people who literally have zero real sound understanding about this country, historically, culturally, socially, racially, economically, anything. Just built up with hatred, built up with grievances, built up with a victimization mindset. And none of that is productive. None of it is. So if you come across these buffoons, just let them be buffoons. And if you're attacked, then if need be, put them in the hospital. So that would be the best possible option other than arguing with them. So until then, this is Caleb signing off the net.